let's talk about one specific skill that can totally make or break your leadership. We're going to dive into this really great idea from a LinkedIn article by Phil Johnson. It's a simple 1-minute practice that can literally change everything about how you lead. So let's get right into it. It's a big question, right? And we often point to things like, a bad strategy or maybe a lack of technical skills. But the article we're looking at today suggests the real reason is, well, it's a lot more personal. And it all boils down to a single choice that happens in a split second. And there you have it. That's the core of the problem. It's not about what a leader knows, it's about how they handle the heat. When things get tense, that gut instinct is to get defensive, to take control, to justify, and that's reacting. And man, it can be an absolute disaster for a team.
Okay, so let's really dig in and unpack the difference between reacting and responding. First up, we've got to understand the true cost, the real damage of leading from a place of just pure, unfiltered reaction.
What's really fascinating here is how these things just snowball. I mean, think about it. When your people feel like they're not being heard, they just check out. They stop bringing you the best ideas. Productivity grinds to a halt, not because they can't do the work, but because that trust, that emotional connection is just gone. And innovation, well, it just dies in the silence.
So if reacting is the problem, then what's the fix? Well, the author talks about this awesome concept called the emotional switch. It's a simple, but let's be honest, not always easy tool for shifting from that damaging, knee-jerk reaction to a really thoughtful, effective response.
And this right here, this is the entire idea in a nutshell. The emotional switch isn't about ignoring your emotions or pretending you don't feel them. Nope, it's about creating this tiny little gap, a moment of awareness between the feeling and the action. It's that conscious choice to just notice what's happening inside you before you say or do anything.
I love this because that's it. That one little moment, that pause, that's everything. That's where you take back control from your lizard brain and go from being a manager who just gives orders to a leader who actually inspires people.
All right, so theory is great, but what does this actually look like in a real conversation? When you flip this switch, what does it actually sound like? The article gives some fantastic, super practical examples.
Just look at this shift. Because I said so? Boom. Conversation over. It's a brick wall. It's just you asserting authority. But asking, help me understand how you see this, well, that's opening a door. It's an invitation to collaborate, and it shows you actually respect their viewpoint.
Oh, here's another one, and this one is huge. What's wrong with you? I mean, that's just pure accusation, right? It puts someone on the defensive immediately. But when you ask what's happening for you right now, you're shifting from judgment to genuine curiosity. You're trying to understand, not just to blame.
And this is the payoff. This is what you get. When you consistently use that emotional switch, the whole vibe of your interactions changes. Confrontation becomes a chance to connect. Tension melts into trust. And all that resistance you were feeling from your team, it starts to turn into real, genuine alignment. Okay, so this all sounds great, right? But how do you actually do it when you're in the heat of the moment and your blood is boiling? Well, the good news is there's a really simple, repeatable practice you can start using literally today. Now, before we get to the steps, you have to understand why this works. This quote just nails it. We're all emotional creatures. If you try to argue with someone's frustration with a bunch of facts and logic, you're just going to crash. You have to meet their emotion with awareness first. That's how you actually connect. And here it is, your 1-minute practice. It's just 3 simple steps. First, just pause. Seriously, take 1 deep breath. Second, in your head, name the emotion you're feeling. I'm feeling frustrated, or I'm feeling defensive. Just naming it gives you some distance. And third, switch to curiosity. Ask one open-ended question to try and understand. That's it. Pause, name, switch. So, in the end, this little practice does way more than just help you get through tough conversations. It completely redefines what it even means to be a strong leader in today's world.
This basically becomes your new mantra. Real leadership strength isn't about being the loudest person in the room or having the fastest comeback. It's found in the discipline to pause, the self-awareness to switch, and the intention to lead by connecting with people.
And this brings us to this final, really powerful idea. For way too long, emotional intelligence has been written off as some kind of soft skill, but this flips that idea on its head. Like it says right here, emotional intelligence isn't the opposite of strength. It's the very foundation of it. It's the core of being a leader people actually want to follow.
So, the real question is for you now. How are you going to use this? I want you to think about a meeting you have coming up, or maybe a difficult conversation you know you need to have. What's that one interaction where you can consciously try this 1-minute switch? That's your first step.